Have you ever been kicked in the gut? I mean, like really, like you took a hard one? So that happened to me. I was either in 3rd or 4th grade, I don't remember. We were out at recess, we were playing soccer, and the ball ended up going high, and someone decided they were gonna, instead of head the ball, they were gonna kick the ball. So they reached up really high with a karate kick, but instead of reaching high enough to kick the ball, they literally kicked me hard in the gut. And this kid was like going hard for the ball, so that power went straight into my gut. The wind got knocked out of me. I was on the ground, rolling all over, trying to breathe, and everyone's asking me, "You're okay? You're okay?" I can't even talk because I can't breathe. My gut felt so sick. It was horrible, and it took a while for that feeling to go away. Eventually it did, and I got back up and I kept playing. It took a little bit, but I did it. Today is January 7th of 2021. If you were watching any news yesterday, and if you love this country, you got kicked in the gut. I saw a sticker on someone's shirt and this button, and it said, "This country is made up of 2 parties, traitors and patriots." And I know politically speaking, there's people all over the place, but it really feels like that's the truth. We have traitors and we have patriots. And all of this COVID-19 coronavirus stuff has been coming for a long time, in the works to make this year what it was. Not 2020, but 2021, but 2020, to make it what it was. It was weaponized to turn it into something to steal our country. The worst part of it is the ones orchestrating this were able to come up with something or use something that it doesn't matter what party you belong to, a lot of people from both would believe it. And that's what's happened. So you have people in the Republican Party, the Democrat Party, any party who have bought into the fact that the coronavirus is scary, that it's deadly, that it's killing everybody, that we have hospital beds are just full to capacity. We're hearing that again in Arizona right now. Hospitals are full. It's just horrible. And the only way to be safe is to lock up, to stay home, to stay separate, to not go to church, to wear a mask all the time. Don't talk to people. Don't look at me in the eye. Wear your cone of shame and just be quiet. And that is what's happened. So many good people have sat by believing and just being quiet because they thought they were doing the right thing. Do you know what happens when good men sit by and do nothing? Evil runs rampant, and we're seeing that right now. We've been seeing it all summer long. We saw it through the fall, we saw it through the election, and we're seeing it now. If you've just been sitting on the sideline because you think that that's where you belong, because that's what's going to keep everybody safe, because that's what's going to help things come to an end sooner. Okay, this started in March and we're now in January. How well has that plan been working? If you don't like to get involved in confrontations, if you don't like to be involved in anything like this, and you just want to sit back and let someone else do it, you can't do that anymore. We're losing our country because too many people have sat back waiting for someone else to do it. Have you ever seen those name tags that say, "Hello, my name is"? Well, guess what? You need to wear one that says, "Hello, my name is someone," because you're the someone who needs to help stop this. This is over when we, the people, say it's over, but we need enough of us to say it's over. If you keep sitting on the side and watching it go on, if you keep sitting on the side and saying, "Well, they'll tell us when it's over," why are you doing that? Why are you trusting thieves? Why are you trusting criminals? There is hope in us to use our intelligence, to use our civility, to use our rational behavior to end this. The person who considers himself the president-elect wants to force mask wearing for 100 days once he takes office. He also wants to shut down our country, the entire country, for 8 weeks. He doesn't need to do that. So many governors have already done that. They've basically locked down the country for months, and look what it's done. But he wants to do it for 8 weeks. And who's going to pay for everybody to sit at home for 8 weeks? Those who have already been busting their tails to keep this country running for the last 9-10 months. How much more can they do? You have people sitting at home because they make more money sitting at home than going to work. My husband has spoken to people like this. They're at home collecting the money from the coronavirus relief rather than going to work because they make more money, $300+ a month more, sitting at home. What do you think that 8 weeks is going to do to people? You heard the sad news, of Pasadena. They didn't get to have the Rose Parade. There were other patriots who took to the streets and had their own parade, but the Rose Parade didn't happen. The Rose Bowl didn't happen in California. That usually brings in around $200 million to the economy there in Pasadena. Now, Pasadena's in California, which has been under the suffocating rule of Gavin Newsom. All year long, do you think those people had been waiting for January, hoping if we can just make it to January when the Rose Bowl comes, that will help us, that will give us hope, and then that got taken away from them? Are we going to hear how many Pasadena businesses have closed permanently now because of this? Because they couldn't take it anymore? I want to read you something that I read this morning. This comes from a modern day translation of Proverbs. This is Proverbs 6:12 through 19. Wicked, worthless people talk with crooked language. They wink their eyes, signal with their feet, and motion with their fingers to deceive you. While they're talking with you, their minds are full of mischief, planning to cause you trouble. But all this will catch up with them, and they'll end up destroying themselves. There are 6 things the Lord hates, actually 7 things that He doesn't like. First and foremost, pride. Second, dishonesty. Third, taking advantage of innocent people. Fourth, always devising wicked schemes. Fifth, being in a hurry to sin some more. Sixth, falsifying reports in court. Seventh, sowing suspicion among friends. Isn't that so much of what's been happening during this time of COVID? I have a friend who lost an aunt just recently. She said most likely it was her time to go anyway. She was struggling from diabetes. She'd been having a lot of other problems, but she went into her family, took her to the hospital, and she just died there alone. I believe it was yesterday, by herself after being on the ventilator for 3 days. It's heartbreaking. She didn't have to die alone. She didn't have to do that. And of course, they're going to label her death COVID, I'm quite sure. Please understand, this is about power, it's about money, it's about suppression. And if you feel like the clouds have gathered and they're just getting thicker and thicker and thicker, I know how you feel. I know how you feel. But guess what? We have to remind ourselves, God's light shines brightest in the darkest darkness. I want to share something else with you from Psalms. This is from Psalm 112. Starting at verse 4. Light shines on the pathway of honest men to guide them in the dark. The Lord is merciful, kind, and just. Happy is the kind and generous man who runs his business honestly. The righteous will not be forgotten. He will always be remembered. His faith is not shaken by bad news because his heart is fixed on God, and he trusts all things to the Lord. He feels secure and unafraid, knowing that one day his enemies will be subdued. He gives generously to the needy and shows unending kindness to others. His righteous acts will be remembered, and he will be honored. The wicked man sees all this and becomes angry. He gnashes his teeth at the righteous man, but his wishes come to nothing. There is hope, and there will be justice. This earth is not our permanent home. If you believe in God, then you know that He's preparing a place for you in heaven. In the meantime, though, this is where we live. So what do you want your home to look like? Do you want it to look like a prison? Or do you want it to look like blue sky and green grass and freedom? That's the choice we have right now. You cannot sit by anymore and trust the politicians and bureaucrats have your best interest in mind. You can't do that. You cannot sit by anymore and trust that they are going to end this when it's over. Because guess what? It's not over. You have companies who have invested in machinery and everything to manufacture masks. There are so many companies out there doing that now. You think that's going to go away anytime soon? Would they be investing in all of that if it's going to end soon? We have got to take our country back. We have to take our country back. It's not going to be given back to us. It's not going to be released to us. We have got to take our country back, and it starts with me and it starts with you. We have got to be the ones who do this. If freedom means anything to you, you will wake up. You will wake up and you will start marching. You will start marching towards freedom, and you'll take as many as you can with you. This is a beautiful, beautiful country that has suffered the most devastating blow, I think, in the history of our country. But guess what? We're Americans. So once we're done taking the impact of that gut kick, once we are done processing, we are going to get back up, we are going to stand, we are going to join arm in arm, and we are going to start walking. We are going to hold that line, and we're not going to let go. We're going to walk to freedom. We're going to get there, and we're going to do it in the right way. We're going to do it in the best way because we want to follow God's way. America, there has never been a better time than right now to unmask our freedom. Right now, we are made to think that if we have the minority opinion, we should just be quiet. We shouldn't talk, we shouldn't say anything, we should just sit in silence and let those with the loudest voices and the biggest platforms say anything they want to. Well, guess what? Americans don't do that. Americans have the freedom of speech, whether that be in voice, print, whatever. You have the freedom to speak. And if we don't exercise it, it will be taken away more and more. So guess what? If you believe that forced masks are wrong, if you believe that the lockdowns are wrong, if you believe that all of this tyranny and communism is wrong, then please unmask your freedom. We would love to help you. That would be our biggest privilege right now, is to help you. We have these. It's a little business card sized invitation, and it shares our message, and on the back you can find information on how to contact us. But what's really cool about this is if it's like any business card in your pocket, your wallet, your purse, keep it in your car. When you're having a conversation with somebody and you want to share with them how they can unmask their freedom, you can just give this to them. We have these you can purchase. We have t-shirts and in red, white, and navy blue. We now have sweatshirts, really fun for this time of year, and they're really cozy, they're really nice quality. Everything we sell is at cost. Why? Because we're not trying to fund anything. We just want to promote freedom. We want you to be free. We want you to just let everyone else know that you're free and that they can be too. I wrote a little message on the back of our car this last week, and it's gotten so cute. This little grandma pulled up next to me and she honked and she said, "I agree with you." She was well within the age group that's supposed to be afraid and hiding and never go anywhere and wear their gloves and triple face masks and all that stuff. But she wasn't. She was out and about, and she said, "I agree with you." The more and more we connect with each other, the harder and harder it is going to be for them to take us down, because they can't. They can't, because freedom will win. America, come on. Let's unmask our freedom.